Hello again everyone, this is going to be section 6 of my C++ tutorial, and in this one we're going to be talking about in-file and out-file. Now I initially thought I'd be able to cover most of the stuff I wanted to cover throughout sections 1 through 6, but I'm actually going to have probably 8 total. I'm not going to upload those with these, but it's going to get into how to generate random numbers and just a few more of the tools that we can use in C++, okay? But for right now, we're gonna take a look at in-file and out-file commands. Okay, so to start things off, we're gonna look at in-file, and just like we had to in the last section, we're gonna have to do number include, and you want to type fstream, okay, and that stands for file stream. All right. So now we're gonna want to do ifstream. And then a file name, okay? Now, I'm just going to use in-file, just kind of because that's what the file is doing. We're bringing data in from that file. And this is actually going to be one that's going to print the average miles per gallon. We're just actually going to make a data sheet and put a bunch of different miles per gallons on it, and then sort through them and calculate an average, okay? So before we move on, come over to source files and right-click, hit add, and then go to new item, and then let me find it real quick. Okay, so it's in utility under Visual C++, click text file, and let's name it data.txt. okay. Now you should get another window popped up here that you can just click over to. So let's enter 34 space 13 15 39 26 28 29 30. So that's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. We'll just go ahead and round it out to 10. Okay, so 24, and then we'll do another 16. Okay, so that's 10 different miles per gallons. And now we're going to hop back to source now that we have the data.txt created, okay? So, much like in our other average calculations, we're going to need int mpg, int sum, and then we're going to do a float avg. And we need sum to be equal to 0. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and do int x equals 0 as well. So to pull data from a file, you're going to do the variable name that you declared with ifstream. You're going to say infile dot open, and then parenthesis quote, and then the file name. Now, if this file was outside of why is there I could not spell, so instead of stream, I wrote ftream, so let me go ahead and fix that, and these errors should go away. Yep, okay, so that fixed that. So one thing to note, when you're on infile.open, if the data file is directly within Visual Studio, the IDE, you don't have to put a file path, but if it's outside of that, we're gonna, and I'm going to show you guys an example of that on the out file practice. But for this in-file, we're just going to use one that's right off of it. Alright, and there is a reasoning behind that, and I'll explain that in a moment, or once we get to out file. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to check to see if we successfully got in that file. So we're going to say if not, and then the variable name, if not in file, then what you want to do, because since you won't have any data, you won't want to continue. So you're going to do this command. It's called exit _ failure. Okay. And that will return an error message, but you don't want to have to waste the time for it to try to find all these values when it's not even in the file. And then we want to do else. Okay? And we're going to say for x equals 0, while x is less than 10, because it's how many numbers we entered, and we're going to do x plus plus. You're going to want to do squiggly bracket again. You're going to say in file, and then you're going to use the extraction operator and say MPG, okay? So what that's going to do, it's going to be pulling information from InFile and storing it in the MPG variable, okay? Much like you would use a cin statement to pull data from the user, you'd use the same sort of syntax to get data from a file, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're actually just going to print out what it pulled, just so that way you can see that it is pulling data, and we're going to end that line. So it's going to print out each number on a separate line. And then finally we're going to do sum plus equals MPG, okay? And again, you can also do this as sum equals sum plus MPG, okay? But we're going to use this one, at least. Okay? So let's go ahead and run this right now, and we'll make sure that it's actually getting to that data.txt. Alright, so you'll see that it did successfully get in it, and it printed out all the numbers that we had in the data.txt file, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to change this name right here to just DTA. Let's say I spelled it wrong, just so that way you can actually see this exit failure error. You don't have to do this. You can just watch if you'd like, because all it's going to do is produce an error message, okay? Alright, so see, press any key to continue. So it didn't go ahead and do anything. Alright, now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to just say AVG equals sum divided by x, but we're going to have to static cast sum again, so we'll say static cast float and then parentheses around sum. Okay? And I'm using x in this case because x is actually going to get up to 10. Okay? So if you, at different times, you were entering different miles per gallons, so let's say x or 10 was variable 2, you could always rely on x reaching this value. Okay? So you don't have to have any value there permanently. And finally, we're just going to do a cout. The average is, and then AVG, and we're going to end this line. And then the last step of doing one of these is you want to do file variable file name dot close, and then 2 empty parentheses. All right, just that way it closes the file, just kind of as a safeguard. All right, and then we're going to hit Control F5, and we'll watch this program run. Oh, and actually I did not fix the data.txt spelling error. So see, you'll see that it actually did give an error message. Now we'll run it. Okay, so the average was 25.4 miles per gallon. Okay, and that's actually going to be the basics for InFile. I guess I got to pop up, cancel that. Sorry about that, guys. Let me close this window. And now we're going to go ahead and jump into OutFile, okay? So, how OutFile is going to work is, first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to backspace all this. If you want to, you can go ahead and comment all of it off or save it or whatever you've been doing. And I'm actually going to keep this ifstream in file just so you can kind of see the difference between pulling data in and pulling it out. It's very evident. So I'm just going to comment this in, and to do an out file, all you do is you say OF stream, and then I'm going to name this one gradebook, okay, because this is going to be a grading program where you enter a student's name and and you enter a grade, and then it's going to export both of those, okay. So we're going to say gradebook, and then what we're going to want to do is this, and we're going to say out. Okay, so you should be able to see the difference very clearly. ifstream pulls data in, ofstream pulls data out. Okay. Now for this ofstream, what we're going to do is we're going to say string fname, because just like in the problem where we were taking temperatures of city names, we only want the first name of the student. Okay. You could have a first name and a last name if you would like to. And then we're also going to float a grade, because Timmy, if we're back to Timmy again, he might need that 0.5, okay? So now we're going to do gradebook.open. Now, to open a file that's out on your computer, not immediately in C++, you're going to want to do the C, or whichever drive, and then folder location, and then name a file. Now, the unique thing about, well, not unique, but the good thing about this is if this file doesn't exist, if there's no gradebook.txt within your temp folder on your hard drive, it'll create one, okay? So don't scurry down to folders, go into temp, and create this text. Don't worry about it, because it's going to do all that for you, okay? And I just use this path because I'm pretty sure everyone, at least on Windows, is going to have this ctemp file folder. If not, you could put it somewhere else. Just make sure that you know how to get there, okay? And you know the appropriate path. And then another thing is make sure you use double backslashes between each directory name, okay? So we're going to go on and do another for loop for int x equals 0 while x is less than 5 and x plus plus, okay? And then we're going to do a cout statement, enter first name, and then we're going to do a cin to fname, another cout to, and we're going to kind of format this we're going to make this somewhat pretty. I don't know why I'm getting this error right here, but we'll just see if it goes away with time. We'll say enter, end quote, fname, final grade. And we're going to do an end L. Or no, we don't want an end L. We just want to. And we're going to do a cin to grade. And now what we're going to do, to export data to the file, you say grade, the out file name, and then insertion, and what you want to send there. So we want to send the fname, and we want to make a space, and then we want to send the grade as well. And we want to end this line. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and run this. Okay, and there were build errors. So let's take a look at what is wrong here. Okay, and the issue is going to be I do not have a string. But now I do, okay? Go ahead and run it. So enter first name. We're going to say Timmy. Timmy's back. And he tried really hard. He got a 15.5 that semester. Enter first name. We're going to say Miley. Miley Cyrus didn't show up to class. We'll say good old John. John was there every day. We'll say Joseph. He got an 87. And finally we'll say Charles. Good old Charlie Brown here. He didn't do that bad. He got a 70. Okay? And now it says press any key to continue. So what you're going to want to do is come down here to File, the File Explorer, and go to the C drive, and scroll down and go into the temp folder, and you should see gradebook, okay? So double click that, and it'll actually show you the grades that we just entered, okay? So that's going to be it for this final video, section for now. I'm probably going to be uploading more throughout this next week, maybe 2 or 3 more, and we'll get into some more interesting stuff. So if you want to, check them out. I hope you like them. And probably in 2 weeks I'll have a video about Python or Java up. Okay, I've not decided yet. And if you guys want me to host some of the source files I have out onto the internet, just let me know in the comments and I will make sure to do that for you guys, okay? So thanks. for watching, and be sure to check in next week.